Just a short message. This is a really important video and I really want everyone to watch this until the end. It's really important, and I'm sorry for the sound. I just got really mad. Hey gang, what's up? It's Joniversity again. 2 videos in a row where I am the star. And I'm sorry that I'm doing this, but this is really, I'm really pissed off, and I'm sorry if I'm gonna use profanity and stuff. If you're offended by profanity, stop watching this damn thing now. Okay, today I'm gonna pwn badly a stupid racist KKK member, Nazi advocate, so-called doctor, white power David Duke, who I really think should consider castrating himself and maybe help humanity save its racial purity from stupid dumb like him. Okay, let's start.
What is the truth? Are Jews a religion, or are they primarily a race?
To all you uninformed Jews and non-Jews out there, Judaism is not primarily a religion, and it's certainly not a race. You want to know why it's not a race? While I'm talking, look at the pictures running out the side and you'll understand why it's not a race. Okay, Judaism in today's term would be closest to a nationality. You see, you cannot convert into a race. You can convert into a religion, but on the other hand, you cannot be born into a religion. This is why you can say atheist Jew, but you cannot say atheist Christian or atheist Muslim. The idea behind Judaism is that originally it was a tribal religion. Now, after the northern kingdom of Israel, Mr. Doctor of History, after the northern kingdom of Israel fell to the Assyrians at about 750 BCE, a lot of Israelites from the northern kingdom had to migrate to the southern kingdom of Judea. After being divided for a few hundred years into separate kingdoms, they had to somehow come up with a new notion of a people. And they took the aspects of a tribal religion and they did something really interesting. They amplified the idea behind a tribal religion to make something that should constitute a cohesive people. This is why Israelites throughout the Bible call themselves and Goy. Meaning people, Goy meaning nations. And all this was reinforced after the second exile and was further reinforced during 2,000 years in the diaspora. Now, Judaism is a nationality. That's the idea behind Zionism. Zionism started as a national movement, together with all the other national movements of Europe of the 18th and 19th centuries. Yeah. Also, if you remember something about nationalism in the 18th and 19th century, you might remember the idea that actually the Nazis later used, the idea behind blood and land. Now, it's not only the Nazis, it's basically every other nation in the world that says, okay, I'm a nation, I have citizens, and I have a land. Converting into Judaism can then be regarded as getting a citizenship into the Jewish people. That is why we say Jewish people. That is why we say Jewish nation. Not a race and not primarily a religion. It is way more nationality than a religion, and this is why you can be an atheist Jew. You stupid dumb you.
Today I will share the Jewish answer to that question.
And by Jewish answer, you mean what? You mean a rabbi? Maybe you mean someone studying archaeology in the Hebrew University. Maybe you mean a Reform Jew. Maybe you mean a communist Jew. Maybe you mean a conservative Jew. Maybe you mean a Democrat Jew.
Maybe you mean
Orthodox Pharisee.
maybe you mean
Left-wing Jew.
maybe you mean
Karaite Jew.
maybe you mean
Racist Jew.
maybe you mean
A Republican Jew.
maybe you mean
Right-wing Jew. You're telling us that there's one Jewish view? There's one thing that Jews actually can agree upon? definitely don't know anything about Jews, and you definitely don't know anything about history, and you definitely don't know anything about genetics, I'm actually pretty surprised that you can actually speak.
But the latest science, right out of Israel, tells us that Jews have a genetic difference much more than skin deep.
When you have common ancestry, and when you have closed societies that breed within themselves, by the way, not only because they choose to, but because other people don't want to breed with them, when you have all that happening for about 2,000 years, well, you can imagine that they're gonna have DNA similarities, and you can also imagine that their DNA will be a little bit different than people living nearby. By the way, have you ever heard the term autosomal DNA? That is the part of the DNA that we're not particularly good at sequencing right now. The y-DNA and mtDNA can only tell you about common ancestry. That's it. Then you have bits and pieces of the autosomal DNA, which we're just now beginning to understand. You stupid hole.
Here is Israel's most famous newspaper, the Jerusalem Post.
For someone that keeps ranting all the time about the Jewish-controlled media, what the are you doing continuously quoting Jewish newspapers? Are you stupid?
New research. One people. Jews the world over share genetic ties.
Well, whoopee do. You share genetic ties to shellfish, you stupid racist dumb asshole. And yes, Jews are one people. Saying Jews are one nation. They have common ancestry. Not all of them. Some of them have some common ancestry, just like some Germans have common ancestry, some Italians have common ancestry, some Brits have common ancestry, and some racist like you have common ancestry, right, you Aryan-looking son of
Jews from the different regions of the world were found to share many genetic traits that are distinct from other groups and that date back to ancient times.
Duh! Jews are an ancient nation. Of course it will date back to ancient times. And by the way, I hope you know it's true only for the Y chromosome DNA, which, by the way, puts a huge question mark on the desks of stupid rabbis that think that Jews are only Jews if they are born to a Jewish woman. Well, sorry Jews, but most of you, and probably me too, are not descendants of a Jewish woman, unless she converted.
But genes don't lie.
No, genes don't lie. But stupid racists like you lie all the time.
Israel is based on genetics far more than religion. 99% of Jewish immigration is based on genetics, on Jewish ancestry.
Okay, yes, it's about Jewish ancestry. No, it's not about genetics. It's partially about religion because, as I already said, the Jewish religion and Jewish nationality, because of its antiquity and because of its origin, are closely intertwined. It's very, very hard to separate them. Although you can be a Jew without being a practicing Jew, which means the nationality part is way more prominent. And yes, being a citizen of the state of Israel has something to do with ancestry. Actually, let's say your mom and dad were born in Britain and then they moved to the United States and you were born there in the United States. Well, you can go back to Britain based on your ancestry. That's how simple it is. Is this so hard to understand? A concept of a Jewish nation that has its own state, just like the German nation has its own state, just like the Spanish nation has its own state, just like every other nation in the world where you can become a citizen simply because your father or your mother was a citizen of that nation, you stupid racist asshole. You make me sick. You and all the people that think like you.
Israel has strict measures intended to preserve the Jewish race. In Israel, a Jew cannot legally marry a non-Jew, and the marriage rules are not primarily based on religion but upon race.
No, they are based upon religion because according to the stupid rabbinical law, if you are a descendant of a Jewish woman, it doesn't matter what happens, you are still Jewish. You don't even need to be circumcised. Nothing matters. If your mother is Jewish, then you are Jewish, and that is that. And just like in the United States, Israel is a democracy. And in a democracy, you have small minority groups that can gain unproportional power. You know, like AIPAC. So, the thing is this. The religious minority in Israel, Orthodox Jews are about 8% of Israel's population. They managed to hijack Israeli law in democratic means. And what they made sure is that there is no such thing as civilian marriage in Israel. Actually, a Christian can't marry a Muslim. A Christian can marry only a Christian, a Muslim can marry only a Muslim, and a Jew can marry only a Jew. And according to rabbinical law, a Jew is anyone born to a Jewish woman. Now, there is a huge fight within Israel about this issue. You know, everybody around the world ranted about Israelis voting for the racist Lieberman. A lot of Israelis voted for him because he promised he's going to make civilian marriage legal in Israel. And he partially managed. What now happens is that if you are not a part of any religion, then you can marry someone who's not a member of any religion too, which is a problem with Jews because we can't be apostates. We cannot be not Jews because we are born to the Jewish nation. In rabbinical law, it's Jewish mother. In any other form of normal Judaism, it doesn't matter. Probably your father, but also your mother will do. It's a tribal religion. That's the entire idea. And you rabbis, because of you, I need to go and marry Jenny, who's not Jewish according to your laws. I need to go and marry her abroad, which I really dislike. But that has nothing to do with race, and it has everything to do with religion, and this is one of the reasons I really don't like religion. But I don't like you far more because you are a dangerous racist.
Even more amazing is the position of the Jewish state on the Kohanim. The Kohanim is what is called the Jewish priest class. They have names like Cohen, Khan, and are viewed by Judaism as guardians of Jewish purity.
What the is Jewish purity? Kohanim are priests. They are descendants, or they think they are descendants of Aaron, who's supposed to be the first priest. And it's a religious law that they can't marry other people that are not priests, which is something that you can find in many other ancient nations when you think about aristocracy that can only marry within itself.
Does the Kohanim costume remind you of anything? In a sense, they are the Jewish equivalent of the German SS in Hitler's time. Actually, the Kohanim are much more extreme than the SS. The SS in Germany had to prove its European ancestry for 6 generations. The Kohanim must be 100% pure Jewish, 1,000 generations.
1,000 generations! So let's say a generation is about 30 years. That would mean they have to go back 30,000 years. Now, if they're religious, of course, they don't even think the world has existed for 30,000 years. And if they're not religious, it means they have to go back to caveman time.
Everything I say here in this video is documented and properly academically cited.
Oh, man, you wouldn't know academic if it came and bit you in your racist you stupid dumb I just don't. Oh man. Anyway, David Duke and everyone else who thinks like him, go yourself. You're really retarded, and I can't even go on with this. So YouTube community, peace, love, harmony. Have a good one. I love you all guys. Really.